Hi, how are you? Welcome to another episode of the Run Pass Option with Pro Football Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce and Doc Holliday. I am Doc Holliday. Isaac Bruce, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm well and I'm blessed, Doc. I'm doing just fabulous. Here in sunny South Florida. Just looking at, the news and things that's happening in the news and people being promoted, people being demoted. I'm enjoying my time. How you doing, Doc?
I'm well, man. God is good, man. So I'm blessed, man. I'm just thankful to be here, man. Everything that's going on, man. And as you said, there is some news, man. A lot of NFL news, and one person being promoted and demoted at the same time. We've been waiting on this decision about Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. He had at least 25 allegations of sexual misconduct. Man, they've been investigating this for a while. He set out all last year when he was with Houston, traded to Cleveland. Now he's there. Now we finally got a decision. Deshaun Watson, this judge, has decided to suspend Deshaun Watson the first 6 games of the 2022 NFL season. Now, first of all, Isaac, knowing what was at stake now, no criminal charges now, but this was all like civil situations that he has agreed to, I think, go ahead on and come to some kind of agreement to 23 or to 25. But the decision is made. Deshaun Watson suspended the first 6 games of the 2022 season. So say you about that, man.
Well, Doc, I'll tell you what, I think that, the suspension, the whole situation itself is very, very unfortunate for both parties, particularly the women who accused Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct during a massage. So, I mean, I think it brings us back and keeps us in a place that, we turn our ear to those who probably won't have a voice in certain situations, mostly women, mostly Black women who cry out about a lot of different things, who feel like they are powerless, particularly when working with a powerful figure. We can say that they were heard, even to the standpoint, Doc, where there were no criminal charges brought against Deshaun Watson. I believe 2 grand juries decided not to indict him. So therefore, that part of it, we're not dealing with. But the civil part of it, where, these ladies are accusing Deshaun Watson of some misconduct, and for Deshaun Watson to come out and settle these cases, I mean, who knows? I've heard of Alfred pleas before, but when a person goes ahead and kind of say and says that, what, I'm going to go ahead and really just try to put it into this by using finances, using your money that you have to go ahead and not really shut the women up, but quiet the situation to the point where we can move forward and each parties be able to get on with their lives. But Doc, it's very unfortunate that it had to come down this. The suspension itself was brought on by the mediator, so to speak, that was agreed upon between the NFLPA and the NFL. I believe her name is Sue L. Last name is slipping me right now, but she took her time and she was meticulous as far as bringing on this judgment and sending out this judgment. I think it was agreed upon by the NFLPA that they wouldn't appeal any ruling that she brought apart. So I think the way the system is set up, with both parties, the PA and the NFL, agreeing upon a mediator or a judge to decide between situations like that, I think that worked out well for this situation. Now, was it too many games? Was it not enough games? Doc, that remains to be seen. I think on both sides, the court of public opinion is going to have a lot to say about it. To me, I think it fits. You kind of look back at the Ben Roethlisberger situation back in the day when he had some sexual misconduct, was accused of it off the field. And I think he received 6 games, if I'm not mistaken. So for Deshaun to get 6 games and really have no criminal charges brought against him, I think it's fair.
Now, this is my thing with that, man. 6 games. Now, Deshaun Watson continues to say he didn't do anything wrong, but as you said, he did settle a lot of these cases, and he probably will settle the rest of them. So when you say you don't do anything wrong, but you settle the cases, that says something that you did something. But I know you also I just want to go and get this over with. But it's paying money out. But this is my situation. Now, the NFL has a problem, even though they got the independent arbiter. to, rule on this and handle this decision. And the NFLPA did say that they're not going to appeal the decision, but the NFL still can. They got 3 days to appeal whether they want to go for longer. And I think they wanted to go for a year. And I think the NFL probably will do that because the NFL has an image problem because, I'm not a woman. I can't speak for women, but women may say, oh, y'all don't really care too much about how we feel or what we got going on. This is more than 24 women making, the same kind of allegation against Deshaun Watson, and for him just to get 6 games. And I understand the judge is saying, well, she really didn't have the evidence, just to say to suspend him longer than that. We don't know everything that she saw. We don't know everything that was presented to her, but it does seem like she acted perfectly in her capacity as a judge, and she acted as a judge. But the 6 games, I think that a lot of women will see, and as you say, a lot of black women feel like their voices aren't heard. So in this situation, for Deshaun to get $6 million, he's only, he's gonna be suspended the first 6 games of the season unless the NFL appeals and it gets a longer suspension. But he's just set to make over $1 million in salary this season. So 6 games, he's just gonna lose $345,000. But I think he's still gonna get about $45 million this season because of guarantees and all that. So I think they saw that and knew that when he signed that deal with Cleveland for situations like this. So it's not like he's gonna lose that much money as far as salary wise. But of course, we don't know how much money he has to pay out by settling these civil lawsuits. But I think the NFL has an image problem, man, because a lot of women may say that, like, dang, that's all you think we worth, and just 6 games for a man who's accused 25 accusations at least of sexual misconduct.
Well, Doc, you got to look at the NFL's fan base as well. I think about 30 to 35% of that fan base is female. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of women who actually know football, Doc. They know it. They love the game. They could talk football just as well as you and I can talk football, Doc. And I think that's even like puts them on a higher level because they've never actually played the game. So, Doc, I think I think the NFL has another black guy in this entire moment right here. And look, I said the 6 games was fair. I could have lived with a year. I could have lived with not seeing Deshaun Watson on the football field for another year. I think it would have been even fairer to the people who are involved in this situation. So it's another black eye for the National Football League, and we'll see what Roger Goodell has to say about it. If he's going to be agreeable to the 6 games, or if he's going to go back and say, let's adjust that and make it a full year or even 12 games, Doc. So we'll see, man. I mean, this is just the beginning. We've been waiting for this moment. We can almost exhale at this moment to say, from a football standpoint, Deshaun Watson, who hadn't played in a full year, can say, okay, this part of my journey, my life is over. But other people say it's just getting started. So I think that fight is going to continue on, and we'll see where it happens, see where it lands.
And my thing is, man, I have 2 daughters. You have 2 daughters. So that's all I can keep thinking about, man. Okay, I understand. Well, I don't understand if 1 or 2 people say you did something, bro, but 25, dog, it's hard. It's hard for me to look at you and say you ain't do anything, man. 25, because I know how I am, bro. If one of my daughters came to me, I don't care who you are, and say somebody sexually abused them or was inappropriate with them in any situation, you got to get these hands, man. So that's why I'm looking at it as a father, because I'm pretty sure, those 25 women, they have a dad. If they had a dad. So I'm pretty sure, man, that they feeling and thinking a certain type of way. And for Deshaun Watson not to just really come out and just take, I guess he probably didn't really want to admit to anything because things are still in court, in civil court, but he got to come out at some point and act like he feels sorry for what happened. He feels sorry for what these women went through and take some kind of responsibility for doing whatever he did or whatever they say he did, because at the end of the day, you still settled a lot of these cases. So it's basically saying something is there that you don't want to get out. You don't want people to hear. So I'm going to go ahead on and pay you this money and get this over with. But for him to say he doesn't have a problem, bro, I mean, come on, Ike. I used to get massages. You used to regularly get massages, and ain't nobody ever accused you of that. Ain't nobody ever accused me of that. So I don't know all the details, so I don't want to convict the man, but he pretty much convicts himself, bro, when he settles the majority of these cases, man. So that's all I'm thinking, man. Deshaun Watson, young Roy, get some kind of help, some kind of way, some kind of counseling, man. And so you won't be put in this situation, so you won't put yourself in this situation again.
Indeed. Like I said, Doc, I mean, to some people, it's the very end of the situation. To others, it's the beginning. But for the record, he has gone on record, I think, more than once to declare his being innocent.
Yeah.
So, Doc, that's all he could do, man. I mean, I wasn't in the room. I didn't know the agreement between the two parties or what happens. And let's not be naive, Doc. I mean, we know the wickedness of others who will try and set you up and put you in situations. These are high profile figures where people know what they make per year, what their contract is based on. And for the love of money, Doc, we've seen people do anything.
Yeah, that's true, man. That also goes with you got to make better decisions. You got to make better decisions, man. You got to know, who you're around and who you're dealing with. So I totally understand where you're coming from, but I'm one of those, man. Hopefully this situation gets resolved and it's over, man. We can just start talking football, man. And speaking of football, man, a couple of receivers finally got their loot. Training camps have started, bro. So we about ready time to pay in. Our dude from the NFC West, San Francisco 49ers. Now, I know that's our rival, and we supposed to hate them. I can't hate them because my brother played for them, and I used to like them back in the day. But anyway, they gave Debo that money, man. 3-year extension. Oh, let me get them numbers right. 3-year extension, $73.5 million, $58 million in guarantees, man. Finally gave Debo that money. San Francisco should have did this a long time ago. But I'm glad to see Debo get paid, man, because San Francisco 49ers, the iteration, what they were last season and the year before that, they are not the San Francisco 49ers without Debo Samuel. So I'm surprised it took this long, but I'm glad my man got that loot, Ike B.
Doc, I think a lot of us, we want security. Even the football players of this world, the wide receivers, particularly based on this topic, they want security, Doc. And just look at Debo. I'm happy for him. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to the San Francisco 49ers for keeping a player that they drafted and developed into the player that he is right now. Doc, that's always the goal. That's what you want to do. You want to be able to extend the players that you draft and have these players play for you as long as they can at a high level and an ever increasing level. Definitely Debo, he really deserved what he got as far as contract wise. He's a phenomenal football player. He can do a lot more than a lot of other receivers in this league, Doc. And I'm talking about from a standpoint of playing running back. He can be a tailback. How many jet sweeps do we see this guy get? And he's the tone setter, Doc. He's the first guy to the locker room, first guy of the bus for that team. A team that gives you the likes of Bosa, the Garoppolo, and these Trey Lance. Debo Sanders is the guy that you think about right now for the San Francisco 49ers, man. And congratulations to him. I think it was well overdue that they, go ahead and reward this guy for the play that he's performed for these guys, man.
Yeah, man, more than 1,700 total yards last year, 1,400 receiving, man. The other coming from rushing, man, 14 total touchdowns. Dude had 8 rushing touchdowns as a wide receiver, man, the most of any wide receiver in NFL history. That means more than you, Pro Football Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce. More rushing. How many rushing touchdowns did you got? About 2. How many rushing touchdowns you had? 0. You ran a couple of reverses though, bro. You ran a couple of rocket sweeps. You never put that tighter in the end zone running that rock, man.
Doug, I may have a career rushing. I may be right at, let's say, 75, 80 yards career rushing, man.
It don't matter, man.
I got a couple of tips.
They paid you to catch the rock. They ain't pay you to run the rock, man. But I love the fact that Debo got that, man, because as I said, man, this dude epitomizes what a football player is. I feel like they should have given his ass more, man, because he plays wide receiver and running back. I know Debo just gave him a deal. Because in three seasons, 167 catches, 2,600 yards, 10 receiving touchdowns, 550 rushing touchdowns, 550 rushing yards, 11 rushing touchdowns. Man, dude gave him a deal, man. San Francisco just got a deal. I know he asked for a trade earlier, but he was asking for the trade to get to this point where he can get that loop, man. So just 3 years. He's still young, so he can hit him up for another big deal in another 3 years. So I'm glad to see him get that money, man. Another young receiver. And the other young receiver, Also in the NFC West. So DK Metcalf was holding out, but he actually held in, like you say, which is smart to do. Went to camp, but like I ain't hitting that field though. But
Right.
DK also got that loop, man. 3 years for him, $72 million extension, $30 million signing bonus, bro. The highest of any wide receiver in NFL history. And his numbers over the first 3 seasons, bro, just a receiver-wise, is more impressive than Debo's. 3 seasons, 3,170 yards, 29 touchdowns, man. He don't really run the rock like that. But DK, he got that extension, man. He got a little emotional, man, talking about how he can help a lot of his people back at home, man. So DK, a big ass dude. I forgot that his dad, Terrence Metcalf, played in the league. But hey, DK, man, that NFC West for our Rams is gonna stay as tough as it has, man, because these 2 dudes coming back to their squad. But DK getting that loot, and he deserves it, Ike.
Well, I tell you what, from a football playing standpoint, I think DK, he had to get his deal done, Doc. I mean, when you remove a Russell Wilson from the fold,
yes,
and you don't have anybody really solidified to throw you the ball. You got you got the kid that they got from Denver in exchange for Russell Wilson. Doc, I mean, these guys aren't really, solidified starting quarterbacks in the National Football League. These are bridgemen. These are guys who probably won't be there the whole 17 games. I don't care who wins the starting job. So DK Metcalf was really concerned about who was going to get him the football. Doc. And with him being in a contract year, that's important to him. So him being able to, kind of hold in and really force the Seattle Seahawks to go ahead and pay him right now, I think was a good move by him. And plus, I think Seattle has a lot of money under the cap right now, Doc. You go ahead and spend that money, particularly on another guy that you drafted, another guy that you've been developing, and another guy that you want to see turn into a flat out superstar and be there under contract when you go out and try to get the quarterback Bryce Young out of Alabama, CJ Stroud out of Ohio State. You try to bring those guys into the fold. You want to make sure from an offensive line standpoint, you're solidified, and from the guys on the perimeter that you're solidified as well. So congratulations to DK. Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. But I still think they're tanking, and they're tanking, and they're not really trying to win this year. So I can just chalk those 2 wins up for the Los Angeles Rams.
No doubt about it. I'm exactly that, and the point you made is exactly what I was saying. I was like, DK, you better not in heck take your ass out there and practice and play without a new deal, because you had Russell Wilson the first 3 years you've been in the league in Seattle. He gone. We seen Geno Smith. He's decent, but he ain't Russell Wilson. Drew Lock is the dude. We know they ran him up. They got him up out of there to get Russell from Denver. So that's my thing, bro. You don't know who's gonna be throwing you the ball. Now, the good thing, Geno has been there. All 3 of your years in Seattle. So I don't know how many times they've thrown the ball to each other, because DK has a 1, Russell Wilson been a 1. But you're right, DK, get that loop, man, because you don't know what the hell Geno gonna do. You don't know what Drew Lock gonna do, so you don't know what your productivity is going to be. Debo, on the other hand, if Trey Lance is the guy, we say he is the guy, but Debo still say, well, I can get in the backfield and tote this pill, so I can still be effective. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna give me the rock any kind of way. But DK, no, bro, all you do is run down the field, man, and catch passes. So I'm glad he got that money, man. And there's no way in the hell he should have went out there and played without getting that contract extension. He got it. Debo has gotten it. But someone who hasn't gotten it is Lamar Jackson. Now, I can be honest, I'm kind of perplexed now. Lamar Jackson, he's going into, the last year of his rookie contract. Let me see. Lamar, he's set to make $23 million next season. Now, this upcoming season. We've been talking about it. Now, he's up for an extension. He hadn't signed. Well, now the Baltimore Ravens, they say I have presented an extension to him, but he hasn't signed it. So he's going into the last year of this deal for just $23 million. But when you see cats have signed for $150 million guaranteed, and some cats making $45 million a year, which he can get. Are you surprised to see Lamar Jackson out there not only showing up at camp, he practicing. He out there in full pass with cats flying by him, man. Are you shocked that Lamar Jackson is out there practicing, bro, without having signed a new deal?
Doug, I'm not really surprised because, first of all, I'll say this. I believe that Lamar Jackson is wholeheartedly a football player. It's what he does. If he wasn't a quarterback in National Football League, a starting quarterback in the National Football League. He's one of those flag football guys that's playing every Saturday. He has a team, has a squad, and leading them. He's just a football player. He loves to play the game. He is very similar to what we would call a hooper or a baller, but as you know, from basketball. They're always on the court somewhere, always getting their honing their craft some kind of way. So I that's the way I see Lamar Jackson. He couldn't hold himself out if he wanted to, Doc. But at the same time, I think is very smart. We're seeing the intelligence of a Lamar Jackson because number one, he's his own attorney, he's his own agent, he's negotiating his own contract. He's negotiating the contract, when he wants to, Doc. So aside from being able to have to study game film, learn an offense, get familiar with new players on the team, he still has time on his lunch breaks to negotiate a contract like that. So with him being his own agent, Doc, I'm sure that Lamar Jackson has gone out and put enough insurance on his body, on his limbs, that if something happens in practice, he'll be well taken care of. And yeah, we don't want to speak light on $23 million ever, but at the same time, what's in front of him is important as well. So I feel like Baltimore is one of those organizations that takes care of the players that they draft. We've seen it happen from the Ray Lewises to the Jamal Lewis, guys that come into that fold, Doc. They talk about just how great the organization is run. And I think they've given Lamar the assurance that I don't care what happens, bro, we're going to sign you. So you're going to get your payday because, number one, you've earned it. You've been MVP of the league. You've been in talks of being an MVP in other seasons that you weren't the actual MVP of the league, Doc. And he's taken this franchise to a new heights, Doc. He's taken them to the next level. He saved the head coach's job because he was on the chopping block before Lamar Jackson took over. So the Lamar Jackson effect in Baltimore, Doc, it can be felt, it can be seen, and it won't be long before he signs this new deal. I mean, similar to what Josh Allen did when he got his payday. It was a week before the season started. So he still has time. He has four preseason games really to hone in and get everything, cross the T's and dot the I's before he agrees and says, yes, you know what? I'll take this right here. And if you gave if you gave Kyler Murray $160 million up front and you gave a non-MVP like Deshaun Watson a guaranteed contract, we're going to have to meet not in the middle, but a little closer to what Deshaun Watson got. So I'll be expecting, this guy to hit this home run and it be fully guaranteed, Doc. That's what I'm expecting.
It has to be fully guaranteed, man, but the patience, because since last year, man, 4 quarterbacks have signed contracts for $150 million plus guaranteed money. 3 of those quarterbacks averaging $45 million a year, man. So I'll be looking like, dang, bro, I know if I go in there and I'll be like, okay, I'm ready. I go in there and sign, man. I'm Lamar. I know for a fact, bro, I'm looking at least $200 million guaranteed, bro. Well, no, Deshaun Watson got 230 guaranteed, so his got to be more than two. His got to be around 270. Oh, bro, that's some heck of patience. But I also say that's some great faith too, because you're gonna get that loot. But I ain't gonna even lie. I wouldn't be out there, man. I had to get my money first, man. Because just anything can happen, bro. And I like the fact. Now, I'll let you explain this to folks because you've signed some big deals. Now, agents are great, but the fact that he's doing this himself, he's taking that middleman, that middle person out of it, who's going to get 2 to 4% of that $270 million, which is a lot of damn money. He keeps that money for himself or just paying an advisor. But I don't think a lot of people understand. Once you get to that level, man, you have access to the structure of these other contracts that you can look at and read yourself and break down and put whatever you want in it or take out. Well, you really don't need an agent for that. And I know a lot of agents don't want to hear this, but man, a lot of times in this situation and a lot of other situations, bro, they really not required. You just have to take time yourself and read and look at it, and you got access to the structure of these other contracts. Just put your name in there, and you know what the value is. Pump it up a little bit more and do it yourself, and you save yourself tens of millions of dollars, bro.
Well, Doc, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that, most contracts go up between 10 and 15% every year.
Yeah.
So Yeah, you can look at templates. And on top of that, I believe his mother, I'm not mistaken, his mother is his manager and she's
Yeah.
also an attorney as well. So
Yes.
therefore, you have an attorney in-house, which is perfect. She's reading everything that's coming, and what he doesn't read, she's reading and catching it.
Mhm.
That's her, that's not only her job, but it's her responsibility as his mother to be able to do that for him. But and I look at that as a luxury, doc. So therefore, anything that he missed, uh, she probably picks up on it. She catches it and she says, go back and say this and let's proceed this way and let's push towards getting, this much guaranteed money on this deal. And I think it's a luxury for him to have it, man. So therefore, yeah, you're right. He's probably saving millions of dollars doing it the way he's doing it, but he's also really, I won't say he's setting the precedent, Doc, because we remember Ray Allen. Ray Allen
Yes.
did the exact same thing. He negotiated his own contract, and then you go and pay an attorney what for 3 or 4 of his hours, which is probably $400 an hour.
I think he's at
That's a
1,000 or
huge cut.
something like that. Yeah.
$1,000 an hour, yeah, absolutely, man. That's a huge cut in what you would normally be paying an agent. So hats off to Lamar Jackson, man, really setting the tone for the guys coming behind him. And we're looking forward to this payday, Doc. I believe it'll be real soon.
And the thing about it, and before we move on from it, that's what I like about it, because what you said, his mom is his manager. She's smart. So Lamar really ain't got to look at it if he trusts his mom. He trusts his mom. So, and the thing about his mom is actually working, so he can pay her a fraction of a percentage he was going to give an agent, or just give her the agent fee. So now you're not just taking your money and your agent taking the fee. Then, of course, you're going to set your mom up anyway and give her some money. So it's more money coming out. Now you save all of that. Your mom is doing the work. Give her the agent fee. So now she's a multimillionaire. She's actually worked. Now you keep that other money that you was going to give her anyway. So you keep it all in house. So I love the fact that Lamar's doing that, man. I know that's probably why they really don't like it, because they don't really like to talk about cats representing themselves. But I do remember Ray Allen saying that, and I think Ray Allen said he just paid the lawyer $1,000. Look over my deal, man. $1,000 saved that man tens of millions of dollars. So I like the fact that Lamar is doing that. But bro, just to be out there, man. Hey, salute to you, man. Do your thing, man. I'm glad you out there balling, man. And go ahead on get that loot, man. Go and get that 270 guaranteed, because if Deshaun got 230 guaranteed, and I'll take Lamar Jackson over Deshaun Watson anytime.
I tell you what, Doc. We've seen guys bet on themselves as well. Joe Flacco, he bet on himself.
Yeah.
So let's just say they don't get this deal done. I mean, look at what's been set up around Lamar Jackson. This entire organization is set up for him to prosper from a running standpoint. The tight ends that they drafted in this year's draft, in a defense that every year comes and they brings it, Doc. In that AFC North, you got to have a strong defense. So it's set up for him to prosper. And he is a problem for defenses, Doc. He ain't going to stop being a problem. He's going to become a bigger problem because he's becoming more accurate as a passer. And we all know what he can do with his legs, Doc. He's just a problem. You can do everything right on defense and still have this guy hit you up for explosive plays. So, I mean, if they want to take that risk of not paying him this year, you're not agreeing to what he wants, Doc, the pot only gets bigger. You're pulling another Dallas Cowboy Dak Prescott issue by choosing not to pay him when he should be paid.
Big facts, man. So yeah, you're right. I think that the price only gonna get higher if y'all let this dude go get out there and do what he does, which he puts in work. And I hate when these cats trying to criticize him. And bro, all these damn anonymous defensive coordinators said this, man, get the hell on somewhere, man. All this anonymity, man. Reporters shouldn't even. Now, it's one thing having anonymous sources when they're giving you information that's relevant, like you breaking news. But if it's somebody's opinion, put a name on it, man. Put a face on it, man. All these anonymous opinions, man, get the hell out of here with that. That's one thing I hate, man. All these anonymous opinions of these defensive coordinators. And as far as we're concerned, these damn reporters could be making that stuff up, bro.
Absolutely, Doc. And for a guy to be anonymous, to keep himself anonymous and have a job as a defensive coordinator in a position of leadership for any one of these organizations, Doc, how do you follow that guy? How do you trust what he's saying if he doesn't want to put his stamp? This is my defense. I run this defense, and this is where we're going to do it. And you guys are going to follow me. Not when you're anonymous to the media, man. Go ahead and say your name, man. You may propel yourself, put yourself in another position to become a head coach. So I'm with you, man. Don't even print or list whatever's deemed as given to you from an anonymous source.
Yeah, especially when it's their opinion. That's their opinion, man. Damn, man, get the hell out of here, man. Because if you a defense coordinator, you that tough, say it. This is me. This is who I coach for. Hey, I don't think he that dude, so he can burn your ass when he plays you. That's what you trying to get away. That's what you trying to get away from him. You scared of him. But anyway, man, one more thing before we get out of here, man. The great Bill Russell, the legendary Bill Russell, man, passes away at the age of 88. And Isaac, we know we can talk about everything he did in the sporting world and in the real world, fighting for black rights, being a part of that whole movement, that civil rights movement back then. But just sports-wise, Ike B, sports-wise, dog, 11 championships with the Celtics, bro. They won 8 in a row. Bro, he was with Boston 12 seasons. They won 11 championships, bro. The first black coach in NBA history, man. I think the first black coach in all the major sports. But the championships, man. And I don't like the Boston Celtics. I didn't like them then, and I wasn't even born when he was winning championships. I don't like them now. But I got to respect Bill Russell, man, and that gray he had going on and that laugh, man. They called him the greatest champion ever, bro, and I don't even think that really can be disputed, man. 11 championships is one thing, but 8 championships in a row, bro, to win 8 straight. Come on, man. So Bill Russell, man, you know, what has he meant to you and what does he mean to you?
Well, Doc, I mean, even before he goes to the Boston Celtics, I mean, he won 2 national championships in college at the University of San Francisco, Doc. When's the last time you even heard of the University of San Francisco? And you probably didn't even know they got 2 national championships, man.
No.
And we went to a basketball school in Memphis. So,
yeah.
Doc, I mean, I just think his career, as far as this being a sports podcast that we have right here, it's amazing, Doc. I mean, 2 national championships, 8 consecutive NBA championships, and just pure domination, Doc. We talking about a person, a player that dominates their opponents. You got to look at Bill Russell. You had Wilt Chamberlain when he would tame Wilt Chamberlain from a mental standpoint that I've heard. Psychologically, he would tame him, and then it tame him on the basketball court. So, I mean, it was just pure domination. Just be the leader of what the Boston Celtics accomplished during his tenure from a coaching standpoint, player coach standpoint, and just a pure player, man. I mean, his leadership qualities that people often talk about, man. I think, you know, really another thing that stands out, Doc. Just the love that he didn't get in Boston and the way he was treated in Boston, but still have the internal fortitude to push through, win championships for that city, and really not really be embraced by that city, but to use what he was getting as fuel to, you know, get 11 championship rings, Doc. It's unmatched, man. I mean, I think, you know, from a standpoint, you know, it's hard that when you see a player or a former player still be respected by different generations, Doc. We see how often generations change from generation, but when you still can be the centerpiece of different generations, Generation X, the millennials, they all talk about you, they all respect you, they all really respect what you did on the court and even more so off the court, man. I mean, he'll be missed, you know, 88 years young, gathered to his peoples. And Doc, I mean, I'm sure he left a lasting legacy and a lot of branches from his tree to take on that legacy and push it even more.
Real, man. And seriously, in those last 2 Boston Celtics championships, man, he was a player coach. So he was coaching and he was playing and led him to a championship. But check this out, bro. 5-time MVP, 12-time All-Star. This is my whole thing. That dude had a season where he averaged 22.5 rebounds a game. Dude had one game where he had 51 rebounds, man. 51 rebounds. Now, when you look at film of him, and I know people like to talk about era, it wasn't that many 6'9", 6'10", 7. Bill Russell was athletic. He ran the court. He dunked on you. He had great feet. He was quick. He was just a dog. Now, if he played now where you can't touch him and just run up and down the court where you can't play defense, bro, Cat can't tell me he wouldn't be dominating these dudes in the league right now, man. That's how great of a player he was. But aside from all of that, Isaac, he put himself and his profession and his life on the line to fight for civil rights for blacks, African Americans back in the day, man. And I'm pretty sure he paid a heavy price going through things we didn't see and hear about. And I know he talked about it. So my whole point, I got way more respect for him than that because he put his money on the line, his profession on the line, his life on the line, where he could have been broke or been killed fighting for our rights, man, to give us an opportunity to do what we're doing right now, to play pro sports and also to do this show, bro.
Well, you talk about leaders in the 60s and the 70s, the iconic photos that they have with Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at the time, Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali at the time, and Bill Russell all sitting at the table, and just a regal photo of Hebrew Americans, all standing together, being dressed up in a suit, tie, and the unity, Doc, the unity that we pray for right now. We saw that unity right there in the 60s and the 70s, man, before it all was infiltrated. And I think we're headed back there as a people, Doc, really being united, supporting one another, being awakened, and being strengthened, Doc. I think we're really rapidly headed that way. And you can see it in the people, the branches that knew, that loved Bill Russell, that knew and loved the Muhammad Ali's of the world. It's been transferred, Doc. It's been imparted. And people like yourself, man, you're standing at the forefront, you're taking a hold of it, man, and you're doing what needs to be done, and you're saying what needs to be said.
You too, man. And that's one of those iconic photos I love, man. I just look at it, House of Hebrews, bro. I love it, man. Them strong Hebrews standing up there, man, fighting and speaking out for what's right, man, and what's wrong. So salute to Bill Russell, man. Such a great life that he lived, man, and everything he did on the basketball court, man, aside from all of that, man, just for what he did for us, man. In 88 years, man, it doesn't seem like a long time, but that's a long time, man. My man was around here a long time. He lived a full life, and I'm pretty sure he did a lot of things that the Most High, hopefully, is happy with, and I'm pretty sure he is, man. So, but anything else before we get out of here, man? I know training camp starting up, man, and I know people watching stuff on film. I mean, in practice and getting all excited. Like Tua Tagovailoa, he hooked up with Tyreek for a touch. I'm like, it's practice. What the hell are y'all? It's practice, man. They can't rush him. They can't get nowhere near him. You can't get nowhere near Tyreek. You can't play tight coverage on Tyreek. And they getting excited about practice video, man. Stop it, y'all. You damn fans, stop it. It's practice. It doesn't mean a damn thing.
Doc, it's been since 1973 since the Miami Dolphins won a Super Bowl, man. So, I mean, hey, listen, I used to be a Miami Dolphin fan. They look for it. I mean, just when you have that culture, you look for anything that can spark you thinking you're going to win to your division. You're going to end up, winning 13, 14 games this year, and we're going to play in the playoffs this year. All of that starts in training camp. So those little things like that, they count. They count for players. But for fans, Doc, I mean, it's times 10 for them, man.
Hey, and one more thing before we get out. I mean, your guy, man, your favorite team. I know one of your favorite players, Jimmy Butler. You see the video? He got his hair done, bro. He got some got some locks put in. So I mean, it's okay. If you gotta see the video. I mean, you gotta see the video. He looked like a real model type. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he got his braids. I don't know if his locks, but they weren't growing fast enough. So he I heard somebody say, "Are you just trying to skip lines?" So he got them done, little blonde tips or whatever. So okay, Jimmy Butler in Miami, do your thing. But anything else? Hold on. Hey, when you got to go to Canton, man, for the whole induction? When you got to go?
We'll be there this weekend, man. We'll be celebrating Coach Dick Vermeil, man. He's getting inducted, and it'll be great to see the whole team, the greatest show on turf assembled together, man, to really celebrate one of the architects that helped put that team together and lead that team to Super Bowl 34 championship. Dick Vermeil being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Not only that, but the creator of the Lambeau Leap, he's going to be there as well. Leroy Butler, one of my fellow Floridians, he's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So it'll be a good weekend, Doc, of just being in Canton. Great people in Canton, man. Smoosh Ice Cream is going to be there in Canton, man. We're going to be on full force and just enjoy seeing my teammates again.
I gotta get me some damn smooth ice cream, man. But you keep bringing up Leroy Butler. You got a lot of respect for my man. My man was a dog out there, wasn't he, bro?
From Florida State and for Green Bay, man. I mean, he was one of John Madden's favorite guys, man. It's hard to get in the fold of John Madden, for him to really respect you, Leroy Butler is one of those players.
Yeah, Leroy Butler knock your ass off. It knock your ass off. You come, it knock your ass off. But anyway, man, I like the fact, I mean, you going back to Canton, man, this weekend, big weekend, Dick Vermeer. But before we get out of here, you got something coming up in St. Louis, right? I saw it on Twitter for Dick Vermeer at the end of the month, right? Talk about that real quick, man.
Well, absolutely, man. It's the annual gala for the Isaac Bruce Foundation. And Coach Vermeer, we're actually giving him the opportunity to say thank you to the city of St. Louis, the fans who loved him while he was there in town. They're going to be able to come and say thank you as well. And, we're having that gala at the Four Seasons downtown St. Louis, man. They've been so gracious to allow us to host there for the last couple of years. All the info about that and being able to see Coach Vermeer, some of my other former teammates, you can go to isaacbruce.org and get all the information, man. Flight 300 program is really taking off, man, with our partners like American Airlines, who gave us 4 million miles, man, to send students to school. And it's just really been a great opportunity. So Coach Dick Vermeer is going to be back in St. Louis with myself. I'm sure Big O's going to come strolling in a little late, but he's going to be there. But it'll be fun, man, just to see the guys, see the teammates, and celebrate Coach Vermeer.
All praise to the Most High. Anything else, man, you want to add before we get out of here, man?
No, that's it, man. I'm good, Doc.
Hey, well, that's going to do it for another great episode of the Run Pass Option with Pro Football Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce and Doc Holliday. We talk sports. Motherfucker, because we know sports. Regressio, regressio. We out.